Democrats decided couldn't be trusted, didn't have the capability to run a presidential campaign. And now here he is, potentially leading us down the path to World War III.
Others think President Biden waited too long to give the green light for those long-range missiles.
First of all, this is something that's very long overdue, and I frankly don't see it as an escalation.
General Jack Keane is a retired four-star general, chairman of the Institute for the Study of War, and Fox News senior strategic analyst.
And the Biden administration, from what I understand, is limited in where they can target these missiles in Russia. If indeed that's pretty frustrating. But the real escalation in the war is being done by Putin and the Russians. I mean, just think of it. Putin has three allies who are helping him with money and capabilities: China, Iran, North Korea. Ukraine has many more allies helping them: the United States, Europe, and many other countries, even Japan and Australia. What has happened here? The fact is, North Korea has joined with Putin in attempting to overthrow Ukraine. And so Putin now has another country at war with Ukraine, similar to what took place in World War II when Italy came to the port of Nazi Germany and trying to take control of Europe. Putin is the escalator here by far, because he's got another country participating in the overthrow.
So these troops from North Korea, we've heard 10, 11,000 of them. Ukraine's President Zelensky at the European Parliament warned there could be 100,000 North Koreans as Russia wants to take back control of its own territory, the Kursk region, because in several months ago, Ukraine started crossing the border, taking over control of some of this Russian territory. That maybe the battle here is for control for the next few months of that area. How vital is the Kursk region for Ukraine?
Politically, it's very valuable. And why is that? Because Ukraine is inside of Russia. I've always felt from the beginning Ukraine's objective here was one, to send a clear signal to Russia that their border is open and not properly defended, and they would have to commit troops to it, and also move some other troops that they have somewhere else to that area. And then thirdly, and quite significantly, is provide additional leverage for Ukraine. Look at it. If it's just 10, 11,000 North Koreans, it will not be decisive in the long run. However, if this is the beginning of a pipeline of people and soldiers from North Korea, then that could become decisive. Why? Putin's military on the ground averages 30,000 casualties a month during this 8-month period that they're trying to gain control of the Donbass region in the east and the south in Ukraine. In October...
Hey, war is on the table. War is on the table. All right, Yahushua put us on game, man. Shalom, shalom, Baruch HaTuah to y'all brothers and sisters. War is on the table. We getting close. All right, we getting close as prophecies continue to manifest, man. We getting close, man.
You can never replace those cities and towns, and you can never replace the dead people. So many dead people.
That was at a Trump rally back in September. Throughout his campaign, the former president vowed to end that war if elected again, even before he takes office, saying this at CPAC back in March of last year.
And it will take me no longer than one day. I know exactly what to say to each of them. I got along very well with them.
Now, he'll have the chance to do it.
What I think is happening here is both sides are certainly preparing for some kind of negotiations. Putin, and this is something the Trump administration will have to come to grips with. Putin he's dealing with today as a person is pretty much the same, but the circumstances are dramatically different. And by that I mean Putin is a war commander. He's put his economy on a war footing. He's got three allies substantially assisting him to achieve his goals, and he failed to take Ukraine in a 2 to 3 time frame 2 years ago, but he has never given up on his determination and conviction to take control of Ukraine. And that is where he is. The idea of going to negotiations where he would only get something like 20% of Ukraine if he throws it in place right now, he has no stomach for that whatsoever. So we want the outcome to be favorable to Ukraine for sure. And I think they'll recognize they'll likely have to up Ukraine's game for a while to gain that leverage. I don't know if that'll be their conclusion, but certainly that'll be one of the options that would have to be discussed.
Okay, now with the use of these new long-range American missiles,
Hey, you saying let Russia have Ukraine? Hey, this is all designed by the Heavenly Father. All right, when you go into the scriptures, all right, the Most High muster in the battle, prepare their war. All right, in the valley of Jehoshaphat. All right, when you go into Jehoshaphat in the Hebrew, it means Yahweh Shaphat, meaning the Most High, his judgment. All right, this is the plans of the Lord to bring World War III into play.
is anything different than the same kind of nuclear
Matter of
threat?
fact, this is Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe come quickly. All right, and that's what they speaking on, World War III, man. We at the door. We at the door, man.
And threatening this kind of escalation. The reason why Ukraine never got all what they needed when they needed it, and the Biden administration has imposed restrictions on them, was it has paralyzed them and not giving Ukraine everything to win, which most of us observing this would have actually been achieved by now. They're paralyzed by their own fear of escalation. And Putin, of course, he's going to keep it up because he's had his influence over the Biden administration. Does it make any sense that Putin is going to use a tactical nuclear weapon and the Trump administration is inbound? It would blow up Europe and force the United States and NATO to take some military action against Russia. He knows what the consequences are. And I'm amazed that this administration still continues to fall for it.
What is the difference? We you know, for all these years, I grew up in the nuclear threat, the Cold War, of having, our cities hit with nuclear weapons. What is a tactical nuke in the battlefield versus what I think of as the Armageddon?
Well, a tactical nuclear weapon, given some of the ones we have, would exceed what was done in Hiroshima. I mean, it's not something to be taken lightly. We have, considerably smaller ones as well. The Russian military is not trained on how to deal with nuclear weapons on the battlefield because they obviously would be affected by the radiation of that. They don't have the equipment for it. During the Cold War, we were trained and we had the equipment with that. So I can't imagine any of Putin's generals recommending the use of a tactical nuclear weapon. I don't believe that's going to happen with the Trump administration. I can't speak for them, but based on the pattern of their behavior in the last 4 years, they're not easily intimidated by our adversaries, and they're willing to confront them.
General, if President-elect Trump called you and asked your advice on how to handle this conflict as he takes office, what would you tell him?
He knows that the most geopolitical paradigm change that has taken place in a generation has happened with Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea working together and taking advantage of the United States because they believe our leadership is weak and we've lost our political will to confront them.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
It's very clear to them that there will be consequences if you continue on this very assertive.
Yeah, Salakin, because when you go to Obadiah, the Lord said, I have made thee small among the heathens. Thou art very greatly despised. And let's talk about the so-called white people that really control Babylon the Great, which is America. But let me get this, because he's speaking about Russia, all right, Ukraine, but Russia is most of the focal point. So this is Ezekiel 29:3. It says, speak and say, thus said the Lord Yahweh Shemashah power, behold, I am against thee, Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And guess what? The modern day Pharaoh is who? Esau. All right? Because guess what? This is known as what? Spiritual Egypt. All right? So Pharaoh, the king of Egypt now, is the elites, the banking families. All right? But what the Lord says, speak and say, thus said the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, behold, I'm against thee, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the great dragon that liveth in the midst of the rivers, which have said, my rivers is my own, and I have made it for myself. That's the pride of E. You know, as in, their houses shall continue forever to generation to generation. All right, that's the pride of Esau. But it says, but I will put hooks in thy jaws. All right, and putting the hooks in the jaw represent the Lord putting the spirit back on the Russians to get back into their military mindset, man. All right. Let me see my shit. That was it. Now this is right here. So like this is Ezekiel 38:4. It said, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy armies, horsemen and horses, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shield, all of them handling swords. That's war. And that's what's being prepared, man. All right, the Lord putting that spirit back into the Russians, man. All right, to get back into war. All right, because remember, this war is by what? By fire. As I'm going to get in Isaiah 9:5. All right, this is Isaiah 9:5. It says, for every battle of warriors is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. So in the ancient time, you know how the men went to war. Like we always, you know, reverence the movie 300s, Troy, you know, the gladiators, certain movies like that. All right, when they was battling, they had swords, they had shields, they had stones. You know, it was a hand-to-hand combat. But this war, as they're going to say, and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. And what's that burning and fuel of fire? All right, the thermonuclear missiles known as ICBM missiles. All right, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Why? Because they're going to be shot from one continent. When you think about Russia, you know, you think about China, you think about Italy, you think about Lebanon, you think about Japan. All right, all these nations, all right, is gearing up for war. All right, these people is gearing up for war, as in the Most High Yahweh orchestrating these things. All right, in the spirit. All right. Well, let me grab Jeremiah real quick. This is Jeremiah 49. All right, 20, and this is what he was saying about Ukraine. They need help. So who gonna back Ukraine up? America and NATO and the EU. All right, they're gonna have to step in. All right, because Ukraine getting their ass towed up right now, man. All through prophecy, but they getting their ass handed to them. And just last night, Ukraine, they just bombed. They just did something in Russia. I was reading on a news article. All right, and they were showing a lot of bodies, but they ain't doing nothing compared to what Russia doing to them. But this is Jeremiah 49:20. All right, it said, therefore hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh that he have taken against Edom. You see that? It says, and his purpose, that he have purpose against the inhabitant of Teman. Teman going to the wise men of Esau, basically going to the Germans. All right? Them the wise men of Teman. And it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. And the least of the flock is speaking about what? Israel, man. All right? Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, and he shall make their habitation desolate with them. And we understand, according to Joel, the 3rd chapter, the Lord gonna make what? Babylon the Great a desolate wilderness, man. All right? Matter of fact, let's get that end time prophecy, man, because this ain't happened yet. For you for you Christians talking about the old Testament is done away with, this ain't happened yet. This is future prophecy. All right? It says, I'm gonna start at 1. It said, for behold, in those days and in that time will I bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Right, because when Yahweh Shai come and crack the clouds, man, all right, and bring the hosts of heaven with him, speaking of the angels, all right, that's us. That's him bringing back the captivity, because when you go in Lamentations 4, the Lord said, our iniquity is accomplished. He'll no more carry thee away in the captivity. So this deliverance out of this Egypt will be our last captivity, man, because now we get prepared for what? The kingdom of heaven. All right? But he said, in those days and this time, I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, represent the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, which Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, even Manasseh, Gad, and Reuben, Issachar, Asher is equal to who? The 12 tribes of Israel, which you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native American, Spanish, man. All right? But it says, verse 2, and I will also gather all nations. And that's what's happening now. That's why North Korea, South Korea, they siding with Russia. All right? Lebanon, all these countries is siding with Russia. They on Russia's side. Why? Because the Most High is putting all these nations together for what? For World War III. And it says, and I will gather all nations, and I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. You see that? Yahweh Shaphat, meaning what? The Most High judgment. Because this is what he finna do. He finna judge all you nations, man. All right? When you go to Psalms, the 83rd chapter, all right, all them within their cahoots to keep us from being a nation, the Lord finna judge their ass, man. All right? But it started chiefly with the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. But guess what? You other nations not exempt from the judgment of the Lord, because y'all all had a hand into us going to captivity and keeping us, all right, in a docile state of mind. All right? You think about, you know, the East Indians, the Arabs and shit at the grocery, not the grocery store, but the corner stores. All right? What they feeding you? Pork, bullshit, abominable things. All right? They feed you shit that they don't even eat. All right? The scripture say a hand join a hand with the wicked, they should not go unpunished. All right? But like I say, it says, but I will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them for what? My people. You see that? So the Lord going to plead with you nations for who? For the nation of Israel. All right? That's what the Lord doing this for, man. For his people. Why? Because the other nation, all right, put Esau on top, all right, have kept us from being a nation. They deceived us. All right? Psalms the 83rd chapter, man. But the Lord said, and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nation, and parted my land. Who parted the land of Israel? The small hats, which we call them gutter rats. All right, the so-called Israelis. That's who parted the land of Israel. That's who in the land now. So the Lord finna judge them people that's in our land now. All right? And guess what? It's coming. It's right around the corner. And that's part of that vision that was set from the point of time. All right? And vision going to what? Prophecy. Everything going according to what's written in the scriptures. That's why the Lord's words are known as what? Being faithful and true. There's nothing you can do about it. It's no book that you can compare to this Bible and be like, well, this book say this. Well, this book say this. You can't do that when it comes down to the scriptures, man. None shall want her mate. No Quran, no Book of the Dead, no other book. All right? But it says, and they have cast lot for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they may drink. That's speaking about what? Captivity, as we came over here on slave ship. That was happening as we was getting sold on auction blocks. All right, but let me jump down. All right, here we go. And it says, this talking about the captivity, but I'm going to jump down. This 9. This is Joel 3:9. It said, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Remember, I had spoke about it the other day. Kun Jo Young, that's what he was spreading to all the nations. He was telling the other nation, prepare for war. All right, get y'all shit together. All right, it's gonna go down. You know, so it said, proclaim this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Let them come what? To the east. All right, because that's where the fight going to happen at, and that's where Yahweh Shai going to crack them clouds, man. All right, with the host of angels, all right, and devour Esau and the other nations, man, and put all of them under subjection, all right, and the captivity. So it says, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. And that's what you have with the other nations. All right, they all gearing up. They all got missiles. You know, they all got atomic bombs. They all got this and that. Why? Because time has been prepared for war. All right, it said, "Let the weak sound strong." So, dealing with their money and their system and their economy, everything is getting pulled towards what? War, missiles. You know, missile defense system. You know, everything is getting towards, all right, to the coming of our Lord and Savior, man, Yahweh Shai. All right. Yep, it says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all you heathens, and gather yourselves together around about. Thither, cause thou mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh. Let the heathen be weakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathens round about." You see that? And that's what the Lord finna do, man. All right. Joel, the 2nd chapter. All right. And I want to just get 3, just to show you how, you know, the missile's going to come from one end of the earth to the other. This is Joel 2 and 3. "A fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burning." And that's speaking about the thermonuclear missile dealing with the warheads. All right, the warhead is what's going to actually cause the damage. All right, when they land and hit the shores of Babylon the Great or wherever the missiles land. All right, so a fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burning. And also, when you be seeing them missiles get launched out, go on YouTube. All right, and type in missile launch, and you'll see how that fire devoured. But after the missile, right, to make it shoot, you'll see all that fire. You know what I'm saying? The smoke and the shit, the waves is going up like this. All right. But it says, "In the land, it is a garden of Eden." Why? Because America has been a golden cup in the Lord's hands. All right. So Babylon the Great have been looked at as this great country, as one of the great kingdoms that ever exists. So that's why I say the Garden of Eden, because Eden break down to what? Being a paradise. All right. So speak a land of the living, which these people are dead in Babylon the Great. It's known as the valley and the shadow of what? Of death. But it said the land is as a Garden of Eden before them. Before what? Before the missiles came. All right. But guess what? And behind them, a desolate what? Wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. All right. It said after the missiles came and hit this place, it was a desolate wilderness, man. No man's land. All right. And it says, matter of fact, I ended on that because I got to take my ass and work. So Lord willing, you know, y'all brothers out there, hold on, Slakia, Isaiah 13 and 4. And Shalom too, bro. Y'all about Shema Shabbat. And Shalom, you know, y'all brothers and sisters on the comment board. Isaiah 13 and 4. It said, "The noise of a multitude in the mountains, all right, as like a great people, and the tumultuous noise of the kingdom of nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh hope mustering the hosts of the battle." That's right. All right. The Lord setting this thing up perfect, man. And guess what? If you can't see it, you gotta pray for faith. You gotta pray. You gotta pray to the Lord to allow him to let you see it. All right. And for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear, hey, we gotta pray to continue for the Lord to keep it on us, man. Because I see it. I see prophecy being fulfilled, man. All right, that should strengthen your faith. That should strengthen your trust in the Lord. All right, seeing these things that was spoken so long ago actually coming to pass now in these times. All right, but it says, it said a noise of a multitude in the mountain. That noise, like I say, a great people, is speaking about them thermonuclear missiles. Because when you go to Isaiah 34, all right, it speaks about how the missiles shall come down upon Idumea. All right, and the people of his curse, as they're going to rain down, being shot from one continent. Remember, one continent to the other continent, as the missile's going to be shot to America. All right. Then the brother put up, and we'll send to Babylon fanners, and shall fan her. And they're speaking about what? The other nations, man, as they continue, all right, to gear up their thermonuclear missiles. All right, their war. All right, they're going to shoot missiles on this place too. All right, and it said it shall enter her land. There you go. For in that day of trouble, they shall be against her around about. That's right. All these nations gonna be against, all right, America, man. Slowly for surely, and that's what you're seeing as you heard North Korea sign with Russia. You know, Lebanon, all these countries, they sign with Russia. They siding with Russia, man. They ain't taking on the big and bad like America used to be Debo. Nah, nigga, you gotta worry about Craig. You know? But it says, one more. And it says, no, that's it. So Lord willing, y'all brothers and sisters edified, man. I'm taking my ass on in there work. There was another installment of radio station edification. All right, until next time, Shalom, Abba, Barak Ha'akim. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Kakudah. Hey, Shalom, Abba, man. All right.